Hey gang, Scott here. So in this video, I want to share, I guess, a little trick that I do in Lightroom, well, any photo software really, but instinctively. And I realize I haven't done a video about this, which I don't think I have. And it's using the global sliders to figure out what I want to do locally in different areas of the photo. The trick here being is the global adjustments are disposable. You just do things temporarily, get a feel for what's going on, then reach in for your localized adjustment, your masking tools to really craft the photo. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. This is the photo I started working on and realized I was doing this. So I've done my normal basics that you do, come into auto, choose a profile, white balance, whatever it might be. I'm leaving presence alone for a minute. That's where I'm going to come back to. And I've done a little bit with the tone curve and color mixer just to get a baseline for the photo. But it's these presence sliders, texture, clarity, dehaze. We're normally adding some amount of this to our photos, but I tend to prefer to do these things locally, but I'll use the globals to figure things out. I'll start with texture. I'll push texture really far, and it's way too much for the photo overall. I mean, the fact it's actively snowing, and if you want that look, like, the little bits of snow that are falling in the sky in front of the camera, those are showing up. I don't want that because I find that to be, in my case, I don't want the distractions there. But where I do like it, if I zoom in on the structures here, I mean, that texture pop on the little blue house, fantastic. It's like, okay, I want that. All right, I know about that. What about, I guess maybe on this one too, but what about clarity? I'll push clarity over. Okay, it's a strong look. I really like what it's doing to the water, right? It's giving me more, it's darkening this kind of semi-S curve of water that's sweeping through here. But I don't like it on the rest of the photo. I want the kind of the splashes of color in the trees, those to kind of remain a little bit fuzzy, a little bit soft. All right, that's clarity. Now what about dehaze? I'll push that to the right and we see it dehazing everything. Again, I kind of like what it's doing to the foreground overall, but what it's doing up in the background there, like in the mountains where more of the mountains are becoming visible through that fog, I don't like that. I actually like that moody, misty, bunch of clouds and fog and stuff that's all hanging all over the hills. So with that in mind, now we'll reach for the masking tools and go and shape the photo and craft it. And this is actually a very good opportunity for me to mention my Lightroom course, Mastering Light and Shadow, where I go through everything that you need to know in Lightroom about shaping light and shadow, crafting things, how to break your scene into different pieces so you can treat them individually. Check out the course. But back to this photo here. Jumping up into the masking area, I'll start by choosing the landscape option because it's going to break the scene down to a few pieces for me. Sky, mountains, vegetation, water, and so forth. Water is going to be perfect. Snow, that's a new one that's come in the most recent version of Lightroom, but let's create the mask for water. And let's start with water. And I said that clarity looked good on water. So I'm going to push clarity to the right. I'll push it far. We're going to see what happens. Pull it back. And I actually like the additional rippling that it's giving here, especially where it's reflecting these evergreens, because it just adds some some character to the water. But the fact that I'm pushing clarity, it's also darkening things, right, before and after. And you've got all the other controls here too, like maybe with a curve, I might take something in somewhat in the darker tones, kind of down here, and just pull that down a little bit, pull it down far, you can see what happens. Maybe nudge it back, something like that. And just that one change before and after. I'm already offsetting things really well. That actually feels a little strong. So let's take my total overall amount, pull that back some. All right, let's move on to dehaze. As a matter of fact, I may have to revisit this amount slider because you recall dehaze did some good stuff to the water too. But for dehaze, I liked it everywhere except the background. So a linear gradient is going to be the one to do there. So apply it something like this, where we're going to dehaze everything and then let it just fade off, but keep that nice amount of haze up at the top. Effects, dehaze, and I'll push it far. We see what happens. Nudge it back, maybe about there. I'm kind of watching the midground, not as much as the water, because the water already was treated with the with clarity, and then I'll pull back the amount there. So I'm getting that kind of look. So now we're adding in before and after with the dehaze. And then the last one will be that texture and maybe clarity on these blue structures. So let's get those into view here. Create a new mask. This one's going to be perfect for the objects. We'll use the box mode and just kind of pick that one. And let's add another one here, those two. Now the only thing is I don't want the snow on the roofs. We'll subtract a luminance range mask and just pick that right there. And now I have my structures without the snow. And what did I want? Clarity. A little bit, maybe a little bit. It was really texture that I want. Let's zero out that clarity, because clarity is going to make it a little bit darker with that localized contrast. But there's some texture just to pop those blues. And if I really wanted to have them jump out, we could even say, not in tone, in color, we could do a little extra saturation, push it really far, pull it back, just to give them a little extra punch. So there's before and after. That one's subtler when zoomed out. When zoomed in, before and after, you can really start to see the slats on the roof, on the side of the building, and even whatever these window coverings are in there. Those are popping up as well. So putting all those masks together, before and after, and keeping the globals just zeroed out. So that's the trick. Like I said, use the globals to help you figure out what are the different segments of the photo and how you might want to treat them. And maybe for a photo you'll have some amount of globals, but it's usually a gentler touch. Then reach for those masking tools, really shape the photo so you can have your own signature style on it. Hope you found the video useful. Questions, drop them below. And until next time, my name's Scott Davenport. Have fun.